In this video, you will learn how to subtract multi-digit whole numbers with borrowing. So we have 896,142 minus 281,935. Our digits are all lined up with the place value positions under each correct place value position, so we are ready to subtract. The first step is to take 5 away from 2, but we can't. So we want to borrow from our neighbor, our 4. We're taking 1 away, so we'll make that a 3, so that we can add 10 to our 2 to make it a 12. Now we can subtract 12 minus 5 is 7. Our next step in the tens place, we have 3 minus 3, which is 0. Moving on to the hundreds place, we cannot take 9 away from 1, so we will have to borrow again. We borrow from the 6 and make it a 5, so that we can add 10 to our 1 to make it an 11. 11 minus 9 is 2, and 5 minus 1 is 4. Now we can move on to the 9 minus 8, which is 1, and 8 minus 2 is 6. So our final answer is 614,207. Now we can check our subtraction with addition. We're going to take our final answer, our difference. We're going to add that to 281,935, and we're going to hope to get the number that we started with, because we can use addition to check our subtraction because they are inverse operations. So 7 plus 5 is 12, carry your 1. 3 plus 1 is 4. 2 plus 9 is 11, carry your 1. 4 plus 1 is 6. 8 plus 1 is 9, and 6 plus 2 is 8. So we have the number we started with. We are correct. Let's try another problem. We have 703,036 minus 181,915. We start with our ones place, and we have 6 minus 5, which is 1. Our tens place, we have 3 minus 1, which is 2. But in our hundreds place, we cannot take 9 away from 0, so we need to borrow from the 3, make it a 2, so that we can add 10 to our 0. Now we can subtract 10 minus 9 is 1. 2 minus 1 is 1. We cannot take 8 away from 0, so we have to borrow from the 7 and make it a 6, so we can add 10 to our 0. So now we have 10 minus 8 is 2, and 6 minus 1 is 5. So our final answer, our difference, is 521,121. Now let's work with subtracting across zeros, where you have multiple zeros that you need to borrow. We have 400,000 minus 245,981. So we cannot borrow from our neighbor because there's nothing to give. So for our first borrowing, we're going to have to go all the way over to the 4. So we're going to cross out all our zeros and take from the 4. So the 4 becomes a 3, so that this first 0 can become a 10. Now this has something to give the next 0. This 10 becomes a 9, so this one can become a 10. And we keep doing that until we have all of our borrowing done. It becomes a 9, so the next one can become a 10. That one becomes a 9, so that one can become a 10. That one becomes a 9, so this last one can become a 10. And now we can subtract. 10 minus 1 is 9. 9 minus 8 is 1. 9 minus 9 is 0. 9 minus 5 is 4. 9 minus 4 is 5. And 3 minus 2 is 1. So our difference is 154,019. And we can go ahead and check that. Since we had so much borrowing, it's important to check your subtraction with addition. So 9 plus 1 is 10. 8 plus 1 is 10. 9 plus 1 is 10. 4 plus 5 plus 1 is 10. 5 plus 4 plus 1 is 10. And 2 plus 1 is 4. So we did end up with 400,000. We took our difference, we added it to the number we were subtracting, and we hoped to get the number we started with, and we can check because they are inverse operations. Let's try one final problem with subtraction across 0. So we have all these zeros that need to borrow, so we're going to have to go all the way over to our 3 and make it a 2. So that we can make our first 0 a 10. Borrow from that, make it a 9 to give the next 0 the 10. Borrow from that, make it a 9 to give the next 0 its 10. Keep going. until you get to your last 0, which can stay a 10 because nobody's borrowing from it. So now we can subtract. 10 minus 1 is 9. 9 minus 1 is 8. 9 minus 6 is 3. 9 minus 4 is 5. 9 minus 0 is 9. And 2 minus 1 is 1. So our final answer, 195,389. Thank you for watching my video. I hope it helped. Check out my Teaching Exchange classroom for worksheets and centers, and don't forget to hit subscribe for more videos.